So the topic for the moment right now is CMO Prime Charcha, the power of agility and adaptability. The session is going to be chaired by Swati Nathani, co-founder and CBO, Team Pumpkin. एक बार स्वाति के लिए जोर से ताली हो जाए, please. Huge round of applause for Swati Nathani. Can you please have Swati over here? You know, मजा तब आएगा जब वो ऐसे यहाँ से walk करें, सब लोग तब ताली बजाएं. Come on, give it up. Yes. How wonderful is that? Thank you. She'll be joined on stage by Anirban Paul Chowdhury, National Marketing Head, Skipper Pipes. I love the name, Skipper Pipes. Give it up for Mr. Anirban, ladies and gentlemen. So, in Kolkata, you can do a lot more. You can do a lot better when it comes to appreciating. They're all young people. Sab Bengalis hai, to bajao zor se taali aur Bengalis ke liye. Come on. We have Professor Kumar Kakani, Director, Indian Institute of Management, Raipur. Give it up for Mr. Ram, please, ladies and gentlemen. Zor se taali. Thank you. It almost feels like that red carpet walk, huh? You know, we are walking and everybody's clapping and cheering. Kya baat hai? We have Mr. Samrat Mukherjee, who is the Vice President of Madison Loop. Give it up for Mr. Samrat, please, ladies and gentlemen. Right there at the back. As he comes, aap log taali bajate raho. Sir, I love your swag. And we also have Umesh Sharma, Head of Marketing, Bazaar Retail Private Limited. Give it up for Mr. Umesh Sharma, please, ladies and gentlemen. Zor se taali once again. Well done. तो जो लोग इस swag से आते हैं ना, मजा आता है देखने में. Like feel like कि session तो अच्छे से करेंगे. We are so engrossed in our style statement as well. I love it. That's what I love about Kolkata the most. Huh? Everything has a bit of style on its own. Thank you so much. Over to you guys. Looking forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. And while we are here for discussing this amazing topic, which is relevant to each one of us, the power of agility and adaptability, I'd request a little bit from each one of you. I know post-lunch session and all, please be a little more agile and adaptable and not falling asleep on this session. We are having a very, very interesting set of people here. Introducing the topic to you, we are living in a world where platforms, options, opinions change every single day and possibly every single hour. And while on the one side we are facing challenges on keeping up with the AI mechanism on a daily basis, how to integrate AI into our regular lives. On the other end, there is this new set of consumers which are emerging called Gen Z, who are keeping us on our toes into just understanding whether we are doing enough for keeping our brands relevant. So today, on this esteemed panel that we have Mr. Anirban Paul Chowdhury, Professor Kumar Kakani, Mr. Samrat Mukherjee, and Mr. Umesh Sharma, who will help us with some great insights on how to navigate in this ever-evolving times. So, I think just to set the context and just to start, I'd like to ask each one of you, could each one of you share what agility and adaptability mean within the context of your industry and your role? Would you want to start?
Good afternoon to all of you. So, agility and power of agility and adaptability. When this topic came to be, it resonated immediately because of the fact that in our personal lives, in our corporate lives, in our professional lives, unless we are agile and we adapt, we don't stand a chance to win in this world or perform in this world. So now coming back to what we do in our company, to ask you, is one of you. Skipper Limited is a company that is into manufacturing of towers, transmission towers and electrical poles. They are the 10th largest company in the world. If we export to around 100 countries, it's a B2B functional company where the scope for marketing is very less. But then Skipper Limited forayed into this B2C space 12-13 years back with the launch of Skipper Pipes. Now this plumbing division that was launched caters to consumers, customers, hence a lot of marketing effort is required to ensure that the brand has a recall or is aware, people are aware of the brand. but they did not do any advertising as such, no campaign as such, for almost 6, 7 years, 10, 8 years, because they wanted to establish the brand first in different markets. But to 2023, this brand decided to launch in a grand way, bigger way, for a plumbing company from Calcutta to do a national campaign with two iconic cricketers, MS Dhoni and Chris Gale, was a big thing, for this company itself. So a lot of processes in terms of manufacturing, in terms of distribution, in terms of the scale of the entire operations of putting this advertising up nationally was all because of the agility of the company to understand nuances, market demands, consumer behavior, and also we work with a lot of influencers. Our influencers are the plumbers, contractors, engineers. So working with them, understanding their needs, and then being agile enough to launch something, and also being prepared to adapt. So the strategy that we had was not always, it was a flex strategy, it changed. We didn't have a flex strategy for the whole year. So the strategy was changing every month, if you ask me. We were changing markets, we were changing the strategy for each market. So agility and adaptability came in the sense that this brand wanted to reach out to a lot of customers with advertising that could be understood by this very difficult set of customers.
I think wonderful insights, because in an industry like that, and we do work with some B2B industrial players, and I understand that how difficult it is to just reach the right set of target audiences. The entire team changes. The influencers that we usually know, or the social media influencers, are very different for your industry. They are very different set of people, very difficult to find itself. And kudos to your team on pulling off this feat. Wonderful. But we move to Professor Kakani. What does agility and adaptability mean within the context of your industry and your role?
So, let me start by saying that agility essentially is adapting to the changing needs of the customers, right? So, if we look into the education and management education, you would agree that the change is happening towards more and more working executives taking up MBAs. And in that sense, a simple example would be executive MBA, which was non-existent about let's say 10 to 20 years back or a couple of decades back. Today is about 50% of our business. So similarly, I'll give you examples of the way things have got adapted to almost those small things which happen in an MBA program, wherein you have to adapt to minor things like let's say a regular student 2-year MBA copying using AI, ChatGPT, etc. also. So agility, while that is about agility, on the other side, regarding adaptability, I would say it is essentially how do I internally reorganize ourselves to ensure that we meet the needs of the customers. So first and foremost, the way we respond to agility is by spending a lot of time with the customers. Both the young generation, that is my potential audience out there, by having open houses. In fact, even at the time of admission itself, we say parents are welcome, students are welcome, let's have an open house. Similarly, spending a lot of time with the industry to understand their needs in terms of what are the sectors which are going to open up. To give you a very simple example, sports and franchising clubs was non-existent a decade back. But if you observe today, IPL, I'm aware of, let's say, one Middle East country offering to buy the complete IPL for 1 lakh crore. That was the offer they made to BCCI about 6 months back. So things are changing. So our ability to understand those markets, quickly rewire, ensure that appropriate faculty and other resources are grabbed, and we are able to create a product which meets those needs is where I think I would say we make efforts. There are many other things, but I would also say that in a higher education, it is not an industry wherein you make changes every month or every day. I'll be honest in saying it's an industry wherein the age of a successful university or higher education is about 250 to 300 years. whether it is Oxford or Nalanda or Takshashila or Cambridge, right? In that sense, our changes can take some time, and agility is important, and adaptability is important, but it's like you have to make slow and steady improvements. You don't need to be awake and aware every day out there. That's, I think, one crucial difference with some of the other sectors which we are dealing with.
Great insights, Professor. I think the core takeaway for me and what he said is the fact that interacting with your regular customers is not going anywhere. It has existed from long back, and it exists even today that the more we converse, the more we talk to them, the more we understand them, and that gives us the power of agility and adaptability. I move to Samrat. I think we'll have a lot of co-insights to share. Yes. So please let us know, what does agility and adaptability mean to you?
Thanks, Swati, for this question, and good evening, everyone. When we talk about agility and adaptability today, or to make it more simple, as in to be agile is not a new thing. You know? So in marketing or in the process of business, every business has always been agile to be success. You know, and adaptability is also something which is also one cannot ignore. The market tells you as in where to adapt and what to adapt to. So all businesses needs to prepare themselves, build in the processes in how they operate, so that they can keep the pace. So what Professor was just saying, you know, so it may differ from industry to industry. While in education it may take some time to kind of change, but when it comes to as an agency partner for businesses, we have to be on our toes all the time. So whereas we cannot miss out as in what is changing on the consumer side in their expectation, and accordingly as in how the business needs to kind of react to the same. So that way, as in, when it comes to the agency side, as in our side primarily, so I think so we are always in the lookout of the changes that are happening. And I would also like to touch upon one thing very important over here. When we talk about agility and adaptability, it is not always being adapting to the new technologies. So it is much deeper than that. Technology will be available for everyone, but then identifying the change that are happening at the consumer side and the available technology that they needs to kind of align to deliver the best.
No, absolutely, Samrat. I think I echo whatever Samrat said, because as an agency, a lot of times we get to hear that, why didn't you tell us before? Why did we have to discover it? So we have to be on toes for each and every industry vertical, each and every client in terms of what they could do. And yes, I think one of the points he made me think that while we have to be agile and adaptable, we also cannot be too fast. Because, just for an example, last year, we spent quite some bandwidth on understanding metaverse, and it just vanished in thin air, nothing happened. And then when AI came into picture, we were just sluggish in there, because we were thinking maybe it will also vanish in thin air, but now it's here to stay. So it's also very important to understand, how agile to be at any point in time. Alright, moving on to Umesh. What does agility and adaptability mean to your business, where a lot of action is happening with e-commerce and so many other things happening? So what is your take?
Thank you, Swati. Bazaar Kolkata actually doesn't, it's not getting affected from all this e-commerce, because as agility and adaptability, we are also running with two ways: affordable and aspirational. So being in both the two ways, these eras, we are not being hardly affected with all this e-commerce. We had actually, this brand used to, since 2002 it's been running, and currently We are running at 173 stores. In fact, we had opened new stores today in Lucknow, Indira Nagar.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We have been more agile every time. Many times come to COVID, when people are not coming out from the home, we had been to their houses. We were the first one to open a bazaar on wheel, so we had not missed that chance to be a part of that. In fact, in today's Telegraph, it's an article on Bazaar Kolkata. We had launched a Disney. We had collaborated with Disney products. We always been trying to be far ahead with all our competitors. That's being more agile and adaptability we are taking on a day-to-day basis. Thank you.
Awesome. I think what Umesh, my takeaway from what Umesh has said is that if the business model is strong enough, which is affordability and aspirational, as you said, then possibly you do not need to, remold yourself as often if your foundation is really strong, and that is what the group stands by. And extremely interesting. I think now I would just, while everyone has explained or told us what adaptability and agility mean to them, I'd like them to quote any one example that comes to their mind, which was the best example and how their team shaped up agility or adaptability or anything we can take some learning from.
Okay, so just to start with, I can take it up. What Umesh just mentioned, I think that's a great example of agility. The COVID came in as if people were not able to come to the store, as if they quickly opened up store on wheels. I think that's agility from a business side. So I'm sure as in every business, as in no businesses can actually stand still if there is a occasion which kind of stops people to do a transaction. So they all have to be kind of be adaptable to things that can bring in business. So very interesting things that we have seen in terms of adapting to new things. One very interesting thing from our industry and how as agency partners we look at. So it is about looking at opportunities that are coming up on a regular basis. So there are newer platforms that are coming up. Almost every year, as we see some platforms which comes up, a lot of users get onboarded to that. So it is all about how we can identify the right platforms which are getting traction to bring into the play of marketing. So that it can help the brands to kind of reach to their consumers through those platforms. And there are almost every month we are trying to kind of doing pilots, testing on newer platforms, and that is agility and adaptability at play at an agency level. It's very important. And if I say, if I just take a step back to what is digital as a platform was always kind of a agile platform. We at least till a certain year, say some 3-4 years back, there were a whole lot of things where unless you kind of try and taste it out, you will not be able to kind of understand whether this is the right platform for you or not. And that makes this platform even more, or the media, even more kind of an agile and adaptable area where both the brand and the agency partner needs to play a partnership to kind of remain agile and adapt what gives them success. So that's the primary area. So if I would like to quote any particular incident, it is about say very recent times, as last year, kind of implementation of conversational journeys, right? So conversational journeys has kind of, so we have all seen as how people used to visit a website at one point of time, filling up forms, and then moving from there to chatbots to fill up a form, and then now they're not even filling up a form anywhere, but they would like to get into a conversation. So for multiple brands where we have kind of engaged them into conversational bot journeys, because nowadays as a consumer would like to do the interaction and get the answers also at the same time. It is not that I've filled up a form now and I will get a call say after a day. No one is, and by then you have lost this particular lead, you know. So the consumer wouldn't have time at that point of time when you are calling back. So like implementing of conversational bot is one thing, isn't that we picked up very fast, you know, the moment it got popular, as you introduced it to most of our brands, partners, and that has given success.
Awesome. Thank you, Samrat.
So I'll give one example of agility and adaptability, which, so when the new government of Chhattisgarh essentially got created, we were saying that, look, it is a very good idea for you to have a good training program for the ministers out there, such that they understand a little bit of how they can go about doing things, and such that the focus remains, they understand what, etc. So the proposals got exchanged, they said revise this in the month of January, March, February, etc. Suddenly, after when the model code of conduct was there and code of conduct was happening, around 20th of May, finally we received the green signal that, look, on 31st of May, we will be giving you 2 days of workshop. So done. I think ours is the first higher education institute in the whole of India wherein for 2 full days, the Chief Minister included, all the state cabinet was there, residential, they did morning yoga also, PT also, everything, and they had training sessions done by people like CEO Niti Aayog, Shri B.V.R. Subramaniam, then G20 Sherpa, Shri Amitabh Khan, and everyone else were there, and I can tell you, this is one fantastic example from our organization of agility and adaptability.
This is wonderful.
Because if you look at it, you are influencing indirectly that about 4 crore of the population. Any one small being, something happens.
Absolutely. I am very proud of